Chinese Communist Party has enormous control, but we've seen this before. There will be folks who were there who this was morally troubling to. They watched the cover-up. They watched doctors die under strange circumstances. They saw journalists disappeared. They saw these things that will bother them deeply, and I think the Chinese Communist Party won't be able to contain this cover-up forever. It may take months, it could take years. I think we'll get those answers, but we have to be asking for them. We have to be actively working for it. We need every American citizen to understand what happened, and we need both parties on Capitol Hill working to get this information for the American people and for the world. This lab is still open, Dana. This lab is still operational. I've seen no indication that they've increased their safety procedures at this laboratory. The risk that something like this could happen again is very real, and we need to know if it came from that laboratory. Sheet that we put out in the beginning of January, it relayed another set of facts that all suggest that the Wuhan Institute of Virology was the likely place that this virus came from. The Chinese Communist Party has a responsibility, and the world must demand of them to share with us what happened, how it came to be that this virus spread around the world. While the Chinese closed their own borders, they allowed people to travel to Milan, Italy, they allowed people to travel all across the world and infect an enormous number of people when they knew that the risk from human to human transmission was real. They need to be held accountable for this. They have repeatedly violated all the basic norms and of the international health regulations and basic morality. And they put the world at tremendous risk, and we're still at risk today that the Chinese will allow something like this to happen again.
Four million people around the world have died from the virus. 600,000 of those people right here in the United States. And there are 3 labs in the world that do this gain-of-function research. And it just so happened that one of those is in Wuhan, China, the exact same location where the Wuhan virus originated. And Nancy Pelosi just recently said any hearing in Congress investigating the origins of COVID-19 is simply a distraction. That statement, not only is it negligent, but it's grossly negligent. We owe it to the American people and every other country around the world that's suffering right now to get to the bottom of how this happened so we can prevent it in the future.
As inconvenient as it is, I believe the evidence conclusively establishes that the COVID pandemic was not a natural process, but instead came from a laboratory in Wuhan, China, and that it has the fingerprints of genetic manipulation through a process called gain-of-function research.
And there are, in my mind, 5 compelling sets of scientific evidence that allow us to reach this very strong conclusion that yes, it was a laboratory leak.
I assess that the most likely origin was an accidental infection of laboratory personnel from the Wuhan Institute of Virology.
Whether the Chinese did this deliberately or not, in terms of creating this pathogen, I think that chances are that they were working on it and it was funded by the military. I'm very confident in that.